Come on in. We're going to talk about signatures. That chair almost fell over. I'm supposed to talk a little so that the mic adjusts, apparently. Is that okay? All right. Okay, I think we're going to get started. All right. So thanks for being here. We are going to give you some details around an announcement that just happened actually last week around Adobe and Microsoft partnership. And so we have been in a great relationship for a long time with Microsoft. Specifically last year, we made some announcements around how the companies are going to work together to accelerate digital transformation on the marketing side of our business. So specifically the Marketing Cloud, which we've got folks to talk about over here. But we made a big announcement last week as well, and that's around our Adobe Sign solution. And Adobe Sign is part of Document Cloud. We're going to talk about that in a second. But Adobe Sign is now the preferred e-signature solution across the entire Microsoft portfolio, which includes Office 365 and Dynamics 365. And so a lot of folks may not realize we have signatures at Adobe. We do get that question a lot. But Adobe Sign has been part of Adobe for a long time. And we do a great job with regards to signatures, as we have done for many, many years. And we are really excited about this partnership, not only for what we announced last week, but really what the vision is working together with Microsoft. And so the two companies working together really have a long-term plan for technology, working together from a co-marketing perspective and also from a selling perspective. And if you look at the vision there, you can see the potential. We've got these two large companies doing a lot of great things in machine learning areas. Adobe does a lot around machine learning with intelligence in documents, intelligence in data, specifically with our technology called Adobe Sensei. And then if you think about it on the Microsoft side, specifically Graph, there's a lot of technology and machine learning going on there. So putting those two things together has huge potential. Then you think about document workflows, so specifically Microsoft Flow, workflows within SharePoint, all of the different opportunities that there are there. There's a lot of vision there for us to work together as partners. And then there's the PDF data intelligence. So there's millions, billions of PDFs out there. Those are stored in a lot of cases in SharePoint, in OneDrive, a lot of places within Microsoft, and there's a lot of intelligence that's in those PDFs that can really be harnessed, and we're excited to work with Microsoft on that as well to kind of bring that into the front, and then also working towards a common platform. So Adobe Sign is moving to the Azure platform. We will be supporting that within the next few months, and so working together on how we can do that together as well and really expand that platform as part of the vision. Now, I mentioned the fact that Adobe Sign is part of Adobe Document Cloud, and so it's a piece of a much bigger puzzle within Adobe. Document Cloud has a lot of different pieces to it, specifically desktop applications, and so what you might be familiar with there is Acrobat and Reader. We've had Acrobat for over 20 years. That's kind of one of the flagship products at Adobe, and it fits into that desktop app category along with Reader, billions of readers across devices around the world so that people can consume PDF. We also have Sign, which I just told you about. That's electronic signatures. It is a service. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we go. We also have a collection of mobile apps as well. So Reader runs on mobile. We have an Adobe Sign mobile app, but we also have some other mobile apps that are out there. Adobe Scan that allows you to capture content and get that into a PDF. That's a free app. And we also have Fill and Sign, which allows you to take in a document, fill out a form, let's say really quickly, even sign it if you want, and then move that along into some sort of an electronic process. We also have workflow solutions as well. So if you think about documents and all of the things that you do with documents, typically you might need to send that to someone else or maybe even groups of people. And so workflow solutions around being able to do that intelligently, also partnering with Microsoft in that area. And then we also have a set of services. So thinking about Acrobat on the desktop and creating PDF, you might want to do that across devices. You might want to take that into the browser or do that on mobile. We have a set of services that allow you to do that. And then the biggest part of it that really makes the most powerful sense with Document Cloud is our Adobe.io. So that's the collection of APIs that we have that allow you to integrate into Document Cloud, integrate into these PDF services, Adobe Sign, and really expand the opportunities. And that's what we're looking at with regards to what we've done with Microsoft, is really working through those APIs. Now, again, thinking about Microsoft and Adobe together, we have some of the world's largest customers across financial, healthcare, government, you name it. We pretty much stretch across all industries, but we also have a lot of partners in common. And we work with a lot of different integrations. In the electronic signature space, there's a lot of different need for people to send documents out for signatures, and we have a number of different integrations. This is really even only a sampling of what we've got that we do and we help customers do every day with regards to electronic signatures. Maybe. There we go. All right, so let's dive in a little pretty quickly here to Adobe Sign and the Microsoft integrations. And so we made this announcement, as I mentioned already, but it's specifically across these different tools. So Dynamics, SharePoint, integrate with Adobe Sign. Also Outlook, Word, and PowerPoint from an Office 365 perspective. And then Flow and Teams as well. And so I think you probably can see some of the potential with each one of these if you know these products. But if you look at a couple of different use cases, these are things to really think about with regards to that. And so the biggest use case that we see that people are looking at is sales acceleration. How do I get things closed faster? And electronic signatures are a huge improvement in that area, because that means that I can get a document out, I can get it signed very quickly, they can sign it on any device wherever they are, we can get that back, we can track it, we can drive to revenue. That's huge. And so when you think about the integration there, Adobe Sign integrates with Dynamics 365. That helps with sales acceleration. Outlook as well. Sometimes it's as simple as sending that out from your email and getting that done quickly. We integrate right in the platform, so you can do that right where you are in Outlook. And then also SharePoint. Again, get those documents out. Get whatever it is you're trying to get out to that customer. Even if it's an NDA, get that out quickly, get that back, track it, and then keep that deal going forward. And that really improves sales acceleration. The other use case here, and I must be blocking the thing. There we go. The other use case is really around workforce productivity. And so again, thinking about areas where you might be able to utilize these integrations, Adobe Sign and Acrobat, so again, thinking about the PDFs here that people are using on their desktops or potentially across devices, does integrate with all of these different tools, as I mentioned. Outlook. I'm in Outlook. Let's say I need to send a document out. I can do that. I can do that from Word. I can do that from SharePoint. I can also do that with Flow. And there's a lot of different capabilities with Flow. Just simply, maybe I need to drop an NDA somewhere, and Flow can automatically pick it up and route it for signature. Or maybe I'm working on a set of assets and I'm putting some creative things together and I need people to approve them. You can kick those off. So there's a ton of potential with Acrobat and Adobe Sign in the Flow world, but also with Teams. So thinking about collaboration and what you do and what we can all do together to collaborate better and center that around Teams, and then be able to pull these in and these tools as you need them and never have to leave that platform. So we do fully integrate there, and that really takes workforce productivity to a new level while keeping things 100% digital. That way you don't have to branch out and deal with paper. You can just keep that right into what you're doing. All right, again, thinking from use case perspective, let's look at it from a departmental perspective as well inside of an organization. I mentioned sales. I think you get the idea there. Contracts, agreements, all of those things. Human resources, lots of areas for improvement there around productivity, all those forms that have to get created, offer letters, anything pretty much that you need to do as an employee, you usually have to collect information and possibly sign. You can really accelerate that process as well. And then just simple internal workflows that might make things better to automate that process and keep things digital. And those are the different use cases for that as well. Proposals, audits, NDAs, as I mentioned, even government forms as well. So lots of different use cases around this. We do have some customer success initially, a lot more to come with this, as you can imagine. Specifically Groupon, has been seeing a huge amount of volume in their agreements that are sent out for years. They've been using Adobe Sign for a long time. We also have been working with the state of Hawaii for the last few years. They are pretty much automating every process within the state, and it's pretty unbelievable what they've been able to do. They've reduced their new hire onboarding by 80% just by moving to digital processes and electronic signatures. And then from a NetApp perspective, they're using it on the sales acceleration side, and they've seen a reduction of 74% in their contract cycle time. So being able to get those deals closed, get that revenue in the door faster, huge ROI when it comes to that. So lots of great successes there. And if you didn't think it was enough valuable, there's some surveys that are out there that talk about electronic signatures. Electronic signatures are definitely rated #1 for benefits among sales tools that are available. So again, thinking back to that sales acceleration, and 93% of the folks that surveyed that are Adobe customers, so we did this survey with our customers, agree that Adobe Sign has outperformed what they even expected. So they came in, they made the deal, they signed it with us, they got Adobe Sign in, and it's completely exceeded their expectations, not only from what they bought it for, but from all the other things that they can do with it. So lots of potential there with electronic signatures. Now, I do want to give you a quick demo, and this is just really to kind of let you think about all of those different areas that you might be able to utilize signatures. And I mentioned sales acceleration as a use case, even thinking about supplier agreements, even on the procurement side, let's say. And if you think about a process that has to happen, typically there's a review cycle that happens in this case. Someone needs to send it to somebody needs to sign it, and we need to get that back. And when you insert SharePoint in the mix, SharePoint kind of becomes the hub of all that. We've got everything stored in SharePoint, but we need to get it out, and then we need to get it back again. And so that's really where we see the integration here be pretty valuable. So we're going to look at some different tools around the way. We've got two people that are working together here. We've got John and Sam, and we are going to start with John. John's the customer in this particular case. And John is using SharePoint, and he needs to send out some information. So we're going to go ahead and click to send out to Sam Carlson a document that we've got for signature. Again, built right into the SharePoint platform. All he's got to do is click on that information, send it for signature. It automatically connects to Adobe Sign and begins to prompt him for the things that he needs in the process. We're going to send out an NDA in this case to the customer because we need him to sign that. And so we're going to grab the NDA straight out of SharePoint here. And then Adobe Sign is going to then collect information. What's his email address? Who do I need to send this to? Is there anything else I need to do here? Oh, and then I can also configure that document right here on the fly inside of SharePoint, and I can do that on any device wherever I am. So it doesn't matter, there's no limitation here. And then I can begin to configure the fields on this document, the signature area where I want him to sign. More importantly, I could have set that all up ahead of time. So if you're in an organization where you've got these standard documents, you can create templates, you can store those, and then just fire those out automatically from within SharePoint or even with Flow, as I mentioned. We've got a signature field on the bottom, and I can drag that on and do what I need to do there, and then just send it. It's ready to go. Once I send it out, if we can get it to go, there we go. Once I send it out, then we know it's been sent successfully, and then I can track that at that point. I can check the status of it anytime if I want to do that. But the supplier then is going to get this information. They're going to get an email with a link to that particular document so that they can sign it. And it's really a pretty simple process. They just open it up, they see all the information, any device, wherever they are, mobile device, doesn't matter. They can review that information, in this case an NDA. They see that they need to sign something, that's their only required thing on this document. It kind of takes them through that. They get that done, they click to sign, and then they actually have a choice here. And the thing that I like the best about electronic signatures, and something you may not think about, is we all are familiar with paper. You've all signed before. you have a choice anytime you sign. You can sign with a blue pen, a black pen, a red pen. Most people don't do that, but you could. And the same thing is available in the electronic signature world as well. And so within Adobe Sign, you can choose how you want to sign that document, or as a person sending this out, you can make that choice for them. You can say, we're only going to allow you to sign a certain way. So totally flexible there. In this case, we could type our signature in. We could draw it in with our finger. We could get an image and upload that if we want to do that. We can even get our signature from a mobile device. And what that means is I can actually click to bring that mobile device in, and it will send a link automatically. We're going to bring that through. Maybe. That's not working. It will send a link automatically to my mobile device and allow me to collect that signature that way. So again, think about choice, think about what device you have that might be able to do that. I can then get that signature on that document, and I can click to sign, and it's done. And it's usually just a few clicks to get it through. The other option that I mentioned was the drawing. I'm going to move through that really quick because we are running on time. This is what I was talking about with regards to collecting the signature. We'll see the link here as well. There we go. There's the link on the mobile device, and I'm able to sign right here on my mobile device, collect that information, and continue going. So the idea again being I can choose however I want to sign. I can set that up ahead of time. We can even sign with a digital certificate. If any of you are familiar with that, digital certificates are additional capabilities, additional identity capabilities that you might want to add into the process. We can do that as well. So very flexible on that side of things. But then there's the status side, and that's really the big value around electronic signatures. It's not just collecting it, keeping it electronic, but it's checking the status, knowing where it is, knowing when they signed it, and then being able to add those reminders in and track that information. We can get that status directly in SharePoint as well. So that's the power of the integration too. I can go in at any time. I can check that agreement status. I can see all of my agreements that I've got out for signature. I can immediately see this one's still out for signature. I can refresh though because we just saw that it was signed. Now it's signed. I can see that as well. And then of course, now I've got that agreement right here available to me in SharePoint automatically. It brings it right back to SharePoint, drops it into my signed agreements, and then at any time I can pull that agreement up and I can view that in the browser. And this is exactly as we saw it. We see it's signed, but it's very importantly now been locked down. It's encrypted and completely locked so that that document can't be changed. It also has an audit trail that's attached to that that can be authenticated at any time in the future to make sure that we can see who signed it, when they signed it, even the IP address of where they signed it from. Very importantly though, that's part of the PDF. So I mentioned the fact that Adobe has Acrobat. We've had that for 20 years. We invented PDF. We know more about PDF pretty much than anyone, but very importantly, when you sign a document, you need that information to go with that document everywhere. It's now part of the PDF. Those credentials are part of it, that signature is part of it, that audit trail is there, and I can authenticate that 10, 20, 30 years in the future if I need to do that. So it lives within the document, and that's really important. That way, the person that also signed it gets a copy, and then they've got that PDF as well. So it's a great way to be able to finish that out. So to finish here, I appreciate everyone staying. We are a trusted partner, not only with Microsoft now, but also with many of our customers as well. We have over 6 billion signatures and over 100 trillion marketing cloud transactions annually. Adobe is doing tons of work in that area and helping customers pretty much in any area you can imagine. We are a huge company, 70 billion with over 1,000 patents. My favorite thing at Adobe is to walk down the hallway with all the patents because I think it's really cool. That's my little geeky thing. And we've got over 20 years of innovation in digital document technology. Again, we've created PDF. That was our format. We've been doing that for 20 years. No one understands digital documents really better than Adobe. And so there are a few things you can do if you're interested. There are a couple of trials that are available for you. You can get a trial for Office 365. You can also get a trial for Dynamics 365. There's the links right there as well. We're happy to answer any questions for you. Again, we've got lots of folks around the booth, so whatever we need to do. Oh, and the last thing is, you might not know, but if you did, that's okay too. Everyone gets a prize, so make sure if you go that way when you're done, we do have this really awesome vending machine, and it gives out prizes randomly, and sometimes they're really big prizes, but everyone wins. So make sure you go to the vending machine right there.